Welcome to the Girl Gang. I'm Katrina Gardner of Katrina and Create.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty of Evergreen Marketing. On this show, we're going to chat with women business owners in Massachusetts and those who support local women in business.
Because girls don't just want to have fun. They also want to sell real estate.
They want to open a brewery.
They want to teach others to invest in the stock market.
They want to take stunning photos, plan lavish parties, and help people recover from injuries.
Girls just want a podcast.
What can we say?
We're girls.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Just Wanna. We're here and we have a revelation.
We do. So, in the past, I've always been like, dry January, good for you, never gonna be me. It's me.
It's apparently her.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know, and I've been doing it alone.
Yeah.
For the last 10 days, waiting to find out.
Yep. No, I don't know, end of the year happens, new year is starting, and you have time to reflect, and I got to reflect on like, damn, Katrina, you've been drinking a lot this year. Maybe you should stop. So I figured what better time than when everyone else is doing dry January. So yeah, I decided to do dry January, and it's actually been great. I started making some mocktails for myself, and honestly, that's all I really want anyway. It's just sugary drinks, and now they're even more sugary because there's no alcohol to make it less sugary. So, but yeah, it's been good. I haven't really noticed that much of a difference though. So my husband's doing it too, and this morning we were talking, and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping so much better, and I just feel so much better. And I'm like, that's great. I don't feel that different.
Yeah.
So it's just better for my wallet, I think, honestly.
Yeah. Is he a big drinker though? I mean, I know he's a big beer guy.
Yeah. And he's been drinking these non-alcoholic Bud Lights, so that scratches the itch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing it again. I think I said this on a previous episode. I did it last year, and literally, it's kind of lame to say it, but it wasn't that big of a difference for me because there were no social things happening in January. I guess maybe in the summer I keep drinks in the house, seltzers or beers or whatever, but I feel not during most of the rest of the year. I don't really keep alcohol in my house. It's if I'm going out, if I'm going to a friend's house, if I'm going to dinner with my mom, whatever, then I'll have a drink. But I guess I just don't really buy it to keep it in the house as much.
Yeah.
Or at least I haven't since I turned 22. When I was 21, I feel I kept stuff in the house. But and so last year, January was easy breezy, and then I just kept not drinking because once again, February was also a social wash. So it wasn't hard at all. This year so far, no issues. I've been invited. I got invited out. The girls were like, oh, let's go out. It was the first Friday of the year, which is the 3rd of January. Let's go out tonight. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Nice try. So there have been social opportunities, but I was just thankful to have an excuse to not have to participate. Bro, it is so cold and dark, and I'm tired.
Cold.
So dry January is a great excuse to be like, oh, I'm not going out because I'm not drinking, when in reality, I didn't want to go out anyways.
Right.
It's totally fine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much of a social life. It's me and my son, just hanging out all the time. And I would always drink after he went to bed, but it did turn into an every single night kind of thing. So, I don't know. I just thought I'd do a little break. And it's been good. So, yeah.
Well, we'll check in again in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I come in hungover.
Yeah.
I'm back, bitches.
I don't think I've never seen you hungover. I don't even think I've ever seen you drunk.
I get drunk.
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
No, I don't think so.
You have texted me to be like, guess what drunk Katrina just ordered online?
Yeah.
Just classic.
Yeah. I really don't get hungover that often. There was one time, I think it was New Year's Eve, and my husband and I were drinking, and I got drunk because we drank, and then we opened a bottle of champagne, and I drank that after having 2 drinks already. So I was pretty tipsy on New Year's Eve. And I woke up the next day and he was like, oh, I'm hurting. I'm like, you're hurting? I'm like, I drank that whole bottle by myself and I feel great. But I don't know how many beers he had. So, yeah.
All right. Well, if anyone's doing dry January, let us know in the DMs or on the stories or something.
Yeah.
We can be your accountability partners.
Yeah.
I suppose. All right. Let's bring in our guest.
All right.
Welcome, Tiana Burnett, owner of Alignment Aunties. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm honestly so happy to be here.
Good. We're so happy to have you. I know we had a conversation like several months ago because we know you through, of course, YPWA, which we mention just about every week on this podcast. We know you through YPWA, so we see you around all the time, and we're always like chit-chatting. Oh, come on the show. But look at us, 2025, we made it happen.
Yep, we're doing
This
it.
is the year of getting shit done. So.
Starting strong.
Yeah.
Starting
Yeah.
strong. Thank you so much for coming in. For people who don't know, why don't you give everybody just like a quick overview in general of what the Alignment Auntie is?
Yeah. So Alignment Auntie is pretty much how I show up to be a coach for who I call heart-centered hustlers. And so that's anyone that's super passionate about their talents, their craft, their skills, and they want to learn how to monetize that. And so I have programs called like Monetize Your Magic, and it's pretty much giving strategy to that creative process.
Yeah.
And it came about the alignment because I built studios. I've built 2 of them. I started my business straight out of undergrad by throwing art shows in my house off campus. And as it grew and developed and went through COVID with a giant production studio and then pivoted my business, it took a toll, so eventually I burnt out and I had to figure out how to heal myself. And through working with a bunch of energy healers and other creatives and learning and getting coaching and mentorship through everyone else, I was able to kind of like rebrand myself as the Alignment Auntie, so like I could show up stronger, and I wanted it to be kind of like fun and familiar and just like a chill thing. It's like go call your cool aunt, when you like need some advice or you need like a cheerleader in your corner.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about.
Oh, I love it. And that's one of the things I wanted to ask about because I love the name Alignment Auntie. And we were curious, like, where did Alignment Auntie come from as a name?
Yeah, honestly, I just wanted something that like embodied myself, but also that would feel open and inviting to people. Like I wanted it to be, like my last company, my management company was Yellowbird Management. And like, that was cute, but I was like, I want something that's more like of a range, but I also wanted it to be playful and cute and be super clear to like who this is for. And I got some pushback initially. They're like, oh, people aren't going to want to work with you because it's called, no, that's fine. If you don't want to work with me because I'm called the Alignment Auntie, that's okay. That's perfect.
Yeah. A lot of times in business, you got to let that self-selection process happen. It's like, if you don't want to work with me because I'm called the Alignment Auntie, like, then we're not going to be a match anyway. So I'm glad you like recused yourself from the situation.
And
totally.
So it was pretty much like the people that resonate with that are going to hit me up, and it's been beautiful, honestly. Like it's worked so well, and I think it's just so fun and playful, and I love it.
And I really resonate with like being a creative because this is kind of like where I'm pivoting my brand, Katrina and Create too, where it's like I'm a creative, and I know that creative people want to give their art to the world, but you don't know anything about the business side. And it's like, how do I do this? And being able to be that resource for people, and it's like, not only do I see you as a creative and see all the value that you can bring people, but like also these are the steps that you can do to make it into a business. And one of the things that I have looked at multiple times on your website myself, and I think is a great resource, is you do not gatekeep like any of your knowledge, and you just give out all your resources. Where like, this is where you can get funding, or like, this is where you should, like, can you talk a little bit about that and like all these things that people, like all the different ways that people can work with you, I guess, like not only from you just being a good person and a good human and like sharing what you know, but the different ways that they can actually work with you one-to-one versus in groups.
For sure. Yeah, so my thing from the jump was like, I'm not going to gatekeep. Like, if I know it, you know it. And that came about from me trying to navigate, like my degree is in art history. I didn't study business. I don't have formal training in business at that time. And so I ended up, when I was doing my pop-ups, right, I was like that came easy enough to me because I was like, well, what knowledge am I getting from my school? How can I apply this information, you know, to my practice? Like, what resources do I have right now that I can do something to make it like I can make money off an art history degree? Because I was not convinced I was going to get paid. So it was pretty much like,
Understandably so.
yeah, like I was like, I can throw a party. I have a house off campus.
Yeah.
I know how to set a vibe. This is what we're going to do. And it started off with art shows. But as that grew and then I eventually acquired an actual physical location, I was like, oh shit. Like, I don't know how to actually run this as a business and not fumble the bag. And how I had to navigate through all of those different channels with like resources from the city, from different departments, from different programs. I saw how hard it was for me to do it, and I was actively searching for it, and I knew kind of where to look, and I was like, the people that I'm serving aren't gonna just inherently know how to find this. And so it was hard enough for me, and I was like, I'm not gonna make this harder. Like, I want to illuminate the path for the rest of everyone, so it's like it's easier for you to just launch. And yeah, so I have my resource portal online. I have a whole grant database where I search for grants, I write grants for people. And that's really like how that happened. It's just I saw how hard it was for me to find it, and I'm actively searching, and I'm calling people. And like, if you don't know to do that, you're not gonna find it. And it's like, how do we kind of bridge that gap between like, okay, first year business typically fails. You know, women in business aren't getting a lot of funding. Minorities in business aren't getting a lot of funding. Creatives just want to create. How do we like make that kind of more accessible to them at that stage? And that's how I did it. Honestly, it doesn't do anything for me to hold on to that information. My studios were platforms, so like I would help you do a pop-up where, you know, you could do your shoots in there, you could launch, you could do whatever you needed to do with the support of me as a coach. We had videographers, photographers. Yeah, it was just all about how do we give you actual structure to what you're doing and get past like the hustle.
It seems like you're really like committed to breaking down those initial barriers so that people can go the distance, essentially.
Yeah, because it's already going to be hard. It's already going to break your brain.
Oh
you know what I mean? Like, if you just go alignmentauntie.com, it's like you're going to find everything that you need to get started, and it's everything that I've personally used as well.
Like I've applied to a couple of grants for this podcast that I found through your website.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
I love that. Didn't know it came initially. She was just like, oh, here's this thing. Can you fill out this part of it? I'm like, sure. I didn't know it came initially. Thank you. Let's hope we get it.
I know. We're not going to find out till like the spring. But anyways, so I know too, when I was looking on your website, you do obviously one-on-one coaching, but you do also like workshops, webinars, like some group presentation stuff. So would you say it's like a mix of both, like an even balance of working one-on-one and working with groups, or do you do more of one than the other?
So for the most part, I've been in the consultant role. And that's how I've really worked with all of my clients, whether it's, you know, I'm teaching a 13-week program through Center for Women in Enterprise, or having my one-on-one clients like different cultural districts. Taking up time to actually like complete the deliverables myself is too much. I can't continue to do that, so I've shifted more into the workshop space. You still can do a one-on-one with me. I also offer clarity calls, which is just 15 to 30 minutes on the phone. Tell me your idea, and I'm going to tell you everything that I possibly can about this, how you can get started. But I'm shifting into just more workshops because I feel like I can reach more people, you know, at once. I can have a bigger impact, and it's not going to take too much out of my everyday because I do have a full-time job now. First one since I've become an entrepreneur.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah, but I love it. It's working perfect, and I feel like I can still play that role really well. And I'm going to be starting my Mindful Mondays. I might actually just do Money Monday instead, but holding virtual space for people to come in, do some, you know, professional development, but then also live coaching. So if you have a question about what we're talking about, I can, you know, brainstorm and go about it like that right there.
So when someone is going to be working with you, like who is that person? What is it that like are the questions that they have in their head that they're like, I need help? And then you can be the person that helps them. But like, what does that person kind of look like? And what are those questions that they might be having about their business?
Yeah, so typically I'm working with creative, soulful entrepreneurs or my heart-centered hustlers.
Yes,
And,
that's what they were called. I was trying to
yeah.
think heart-based hustlers,
Yeah,
heart-centered
heart-centered
hustlers.
hustlers.
I love
Yeah.
that.
So it's like just something, if you're super passionate about it, whether you have a job or you've been in your business for a little while and you're ready to kind of take that next step, whether it's create new revenue streams or kind of evolve what you're doing now, if like you want to pivot. Like, for example, I've worked with photographers they're typically shooting one type of content and they want to shift into another field, like let's say real estate. They want to get into real estate photography. How do they go about doing that? And then so we'll break that down and be like, okay, cool, like this is what you're doing now, this is what your portfolio looks like now, this is what we could make it look like in order for you to get these bigger contracts. Who do you need to reach out to? What do you need to have set up for yourself first? And how do we kind of like create that plan for like your shot list so you can elevate that portfolio? That's pretty much what it is. Or I have my grant writing clients where they're just looking to fund their project. And so I'll go through my own database, I'll do an in-depth search, I'll write a grant proposal, and then I've now found this new site, thank you, Harvard, where I can search for the grant makers themselves. So instead of kind of going through the organizations like Mass Development, Mass Cultural Council, I can find the corporations that have the money that are investing in themselves. And so now it's like, with the proposal, how do we then pick who's aligned with you for that funding and then send outreach letters to them? That's pretty much how that works. But you know, if you have an idea, any type of entrepreneur really, and you're ready to launch, you know, if you need to really elevate your social media presence or just understand what it is you're doing. Like sometimes people just need a soundboard.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like they have the idea, but they're like, well, I don't know how to get started. Like,
Right.
yeah.
I think especially like how you're talking about creatives and a lot of like solopreneurs or just starting out entrepreneurs. And we've had guests on before who've talked about this. It can be very lonely. Like it can be very just, and I personally, like I work by myself and I don't get lonely, but I'm also very introverted. But like sometimes I just, days on end of working by myself, I just start getting like all stuck in my head and I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about like, do I do this or do I do that? Do I do this or that? And if I could just like say it out loud to someone who could be like, no, that's a shit idea, do the other one. Like that would save me days probably. So I think a lot of times, like you said, just that sounding board, just having someone who could just kind of steer you in the right direction in a lot of ways.
I know. I'm also loving a lot of the stuff that you're saying because, like, so my brand is Katrina Create, and like probably every like 2 months, I'm like, maybe I'll make it be this, and maybe I'll make it do that.
I do see your Instagram handle change like
every 2 weeks. And I think it's just one of those things where, and I have incorporated this into my brand that I'm a like multi-passionate person. Like I love to do so many different things, and it's like, which one do I want to offer to the world? And just like always like trying to figure out like what is it exactly that I want to offer people. And so I feel like I should have a conversation with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Figure it out.
Yeah, no, let's talk about it. Let's do the things. Because that's something too. And I feel like I haven't found the right identity at brand-wise for Alignment Auntie. And so I've remade my logo 3 times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like that part of it can't be, you know, what stops you from like still launching the idea.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Again, like you get hung up on these little things. Like I was just saying, I'll sit there all week. I'll go back and forth about this social post or that, this with that, this, and it's like, oh my god, just make a decision and move on. It's like that one social post or that one blog or even the logo. Like a logo is a big part of your. I mean, we talk about this a lot in marketing. It's a big part of your identity, but it's not the only thing that like defines your brand. And you're gonna change it eventually.
Right.
Like don't let it hold you up. You know.
Especially in like, you know, just having someone to talk to. Mentors are great. Mentors are great. I've had several. I mentor other people, and now I have my therapist. And I told her from day one, I'm like, listen, I just need someone to hear my ideas out because there's a lot of them. They move really fast, and I need someone that is not connected to any of my things in my life to just hear me out. And so that's also been super helpful, where I can just blurt out all of my like big ideas, my grand plan. And she's like, oh, I can see it. It's like all your ideas kind of like are just around, and like she helps me kind of pull them back in and like organize them. And then like she gives me a little like exercise for the week, and that's like my homework. And that's been super helpful too, because then the next week I can, okay, I finished this, and this, and then I can keep going and like move forward. So that's also super helpful. But just having someone, because being in community is super important. Like I've met so many people literally from YPWA, but it's because I needed a community that
Right.
I didn't meet inside my studio.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's also like, yes, there are so many different like networking groups, but they are not necessarily for the creatives.
Right.
So I guess what I'm getting at is there are other ones like YPWA that are much more probably aligned with like who your ideal client is, or like just the people to connect with instead of like, you know, the business networking group.
Right.
The
Yeah.
corporate person.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
For sure. It's been interesting though, and one of my biggest things was just to hold space. You know, my studios were certified safe spaces when I do my online things. Like, it's just a space for you to just be yourself. That's how I started it. I was like, we just need a place
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like a huge thing, but when you realize you don't have that, it's everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but no, I get it.
Absolutely.
I get it.
Where can people find you? You know, if they want to take one of your workshops or if they want to work with you one-to-one, like how should they go about that? Should they visit your website or your social media?
Yeah. AlignmentAuntie.com.
Yeah.
Instagram, Alignment Auntie, or Trizzy. TRIZZAE is where you find me personally. I'll answer on any of them.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's where I'm at.
And we like to give all of our guests the opportunity to shout out another woman in business, woman-owned business.
Yeah.
Who do you have in mind?
I'm going to shout out my nail tech.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Let me see.
So
Oh!
this is my rebrand. She did my new
Shut
logo.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, that's so cool.
She's amazing. We have our regular appointments. I do not miss a nail appointment. I really
Of course.
don't. It might be bougie, but she's great. Her name's Gigi. She's in Leominster. She's a sassy little
that's
19-year-old, and I love her. So,
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right? It's like, no, I just have it. It's like,
There is something about having nails done, which like don't look at mine because they're disgusting. But there is something about it that just like makes you feel like put together. You know, it's like that final step.
you know,
Yeah.
just something little.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out. It's been great to reconnect with you and look forward to seeing more of you, hearing more from you in the new year.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Welcome back to Heart It or Hate It.
Heart it or hate it. You ready?
Yes, go first.
All right. My first one is heart it or hate it mocktails.
Heart it? I've maybe had one once. I'm also not really a cocktail person, to be honest.
Okay.
So like, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
For other people.
heart it. I used to never drink mocktails. I mean, I think I had a few when I was pregnant, just going out to, you know, restaurants and stuff with people. And it's kind of annoying. It's like, why am I spending so much money on this like juice drink?
Yeah.
And there's not even like
Yeah.
any, you know, buzz that comes from it. But it is nice to like have, I don't know, just a fun drink. But I am doing mocktails because of Dry January at home, which has been fun. And I'm using ChatGPT to help me because I'm not like actually like looking up recipes. I just went to the store and bought like a whole bunch of stuff that I thought would work for mocktails. And then I was like, ChatGPT, like this is what I have. What can I make? And it gave me some ideas and they were good. You know, I bought tonic water and some juices and
Tonic.
I mean, normally not. I mean, I will have a G&T. That's fine. I am a cocktail person though. So
Yeah, you are.
yeah, the mocktails have been fun, but then at the same time, I'm like, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know, like cutting my lemons and limes.
I'll tell you what I liked that's not mocktails is the pre and probiotic sodas, like the
Okay.
Poppy and the Culture Pop. Those are
I
good. You should
tried.
have those.
Which one is it called? It wasn't that one, but I tried one, and I didn't like it. But it was grape soda,
Blech.
which I liked as like a kid.
No.
God damn it, what is the name of the brand? Because I think you'll know it when I say it. But it tasted really syrupy. And maybe that was just because it's grape.
Was it a probiotic soda?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like Poppies, I like Culture Pop. Some of the flavors I'm like, but a lot of them I like.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I should just keep trying them. Because this
And
was the
also,
first.
you don't have to make them and mix them yourself, Katrina. It just comes in a can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
I mean, I like making my cocktails at home. But again,
You're like, it's a lot of work.
you make a lemon drop martini and it it feels like there's a good payoff for that. Whereas you make a mocktail and the payoff is just a sugar high.
Yeah.
But I'll say heart it.
Okay. Sure, heard it, I guess, for other people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to participate,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Okay. On the beverage roller coaster we go, I have heard it or hate it, ginger ale.
Heart it.
Heard it. Okay. I was very down bad sick this past week.
Now I'm down bad.
I was down, literally the whole time I was sick, I was thinking, wow, I'm down bad. And then it was, now I'm down bad, crying at the gym. it was on repeat in my head, and I'm like, now is not the time. Yeah, I had like norovirus, which apparently is going around.
Ooh, nice.
No, not nice at all. Praying that your family doesn't get it.
Oh my god.
Especially because your son is in school.
Oh my god.
It was disgusting. It was awful. Thank God it was over like fairly quickly. But for the first 24 hours when it wasn't, I was like thinking I was dying.
Yeah.
I was ready to call my mother, who lives an hour away, to ask her to drive me, no joke, 0.2 miles to my nearest urgent care.
Yeah.
Like it's so close I could walk, but
Yeah.
I could not get up from my couch
Yeah.
to go to the kitchen.
Oh.
It was bad. So anyways, I had my friend drop me off a case of ginger ale,
Uh-huh.
which is the only thing I'll like drink when I'm sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank God, this is a life-saving ginger ale.
Yeah.
I love ginger ale.
I like it. I mean, I don't drink it that often. Again, usually it's probably when I'm sick.
Right. Yeah, like I don't drink it really besides that.
Yeah. There are times that, so my mom, when I go to my mom's house, she has like just a fridge full of soda. They have the Diet Cokes for my mom, then they've got Dr. Peppers, and they've got root beers, and they've got ginger ale. Sometimes they have Sprite. Like they're soda people. But there have been times that I've cracked a ginger ale at like Thanksgiving. Because it's just like, all right, let's switch it up a little.
Yeah. I drink them on a plane too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm on a plane, I'm like, get me that ginger ale. I already know it.
I do remember when I went on a snorkel cruise for the first time. I did not know that I was a person that got seasick, but I found out, and they
That'll
gave
get
me
ya.
candied ginger and ginger ale, and the candied ginger was disgusting.
I bet.
But the ginger ale, I just
It always hits.
sip it. Yeah.
Nothing like some ginger ale and Dramamine. The
Non-drowsy.
the non-drowsy, like the regular Dramamine
Oh.
that makes you drowsy.
Yeah,
I
knock
pop
me
a
out.
Dramamine. I pop a regular Dramamine. I swig that ginger ale, and I'm done. happy flying, people.
Yeah, yeah, that's how to do it.
Yeah. So ginger ale, we heard it.
We heard it. Okay. My next one is, this might be random. Bathroom hand dryers.
Hate them.
Really?
Hate them.
Yeah, okay. Because a lot of
But-
places, that's the only option.
I know, but you know what I've noticed? I feel like a lot of places that have just the hand dryers
Uh-huh.
will always put like a paper towel roll just out on the counter.
Not the Dunkin' Donuts that Jamie and I go to every Saturday. And it's really annoying because, especially, so I think Jamie has, he can't really tell me, but I'm assuming he has sensory issues, and he hates how loud the hand dryer is.
Me too, and I'm a grown adult.
Right.
Like,
And so he's like, no, like
It's,
paper
like,
towel.
scary.
And I'm like, so we use like the Dunkin' Donuts napkins instead. But yeah, I get really annoyed that there isn't the paper towel option.
that's maybe something, not in like a Karen way, but that's like something I would bring up to management.
Yeah.
In like a hey, like just thought you should know, like not a public review, but like if you could like get a hold of their just like manager's
Right.
email, just
Right.
be like, hey, like just thought you should know, like we come here every week, like service is great, but like no problems, just like as a mother to a child with autism, like just thought you might want to know.
Yeah.
Just because that's also something that I think like most people aren't going to think about. But
Yeah.
I hate them in general. Also, I just feel like for people who don't like wash their hands thoroughly with soap and hot water for 20 seconds,
Yeah.
when they stick them under the hand dryer, they're just
Yeah.
blowing the germs everywhere.
Aren't they actually supposed to be like not sanitary?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'd heard that. I understand that people are trying to like save on paper towels. I get it. That was the same. So I don't want to go too off topic, but Jamie and I went to the aquarium, And I'm that bitch at the aquarium cafe being like, do you guys have straws? And they're like, no. And I'm like, the turtles, of course, of course.
Right, of course, yes.
But my son is not drinking from this, like, they only had, like, canned drinks, and he didn't want to drink his water out of a can of water, so it was a whole thing. But I'm like, do you have straws? They're like, are you new? What?
They're like, no, bitch.
They're like, get out.
Why don't you just murder a turtle in front of us?
I'm like, you're right, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Last but not least on Hard It or Hate It today is dryer sheets.
This is interesting. I'm gonna say hate it.
Yeah.
You hate it?
Hate it, yeah.
Really? Okay. Because
Haven't used them in 1,000 years.
they end up in every single one of my loads of laundry because my husband loves them.
Oh, really?
And he usually, like, our laundry is in the basement, which is his gaming room. So typically, if he's home and I start a load of laundry, he'll just put it in the dryer for me, and he'll throw in like 2 dryer sheets with my stuff, and everything's so staticky.
Yeah, the static is annoying. I just don't really feel like they do anything.
Yeah.
Except I'll like take clothes, this when I used to use them 1,000 years ago. Take clothes out, fold them, put them away, and then, you know, months later when I'm wearing that new sweater or that same sweater that I wore a couple months ago, it's like dryer sheets stuck in the armpit, dryer sheets stuck underneath.
That's the thing, is that
Walking around, dryer sheets coming out of the
I am, as we know, I'm a messy person. And like those dryer sheets, I don't take the time out of my day to like go throw them away. They
Right.
just kind of like end up on my floor until eventually it's like dryer sheet pickup day, and then I have to pick them all up. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it a nuisance.
Yeah, I just am like, there's really no need.
Yeah. Okay. What about like dryer balls? Like some people use those. Do you use anything?
No, but maybe I should.
I don't even get the point. Like you're saying, is there a point?
I don't know. People say it makes the clothes softer or smell better. And I don't know. My clothes already smell good. So.
I think the washing of the clothes doesn't bind enough
Yeah.
smell.
All right, that's it for Hard It or Hate It.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Later, ladies.
Later.